Hey there. Yeah, you watching this right now. I'm about to hit you with a truth that might sting. Nobody cares. Not about the nights you stayed up worrying, the dreams you're chasing, or the weight you're carrying. It's a gut punch, I know. But here's the thing, this isn't about giving up on people or wallowing in despair. It's about freedom. When you realize nobody's coming to save you, you step up and become your own damn hero. This video isn't about cutting everyone off or living like a lone wolf. It's about redirecting your energy, taking all the time, effort, and heart you're pouring into chasing approval, likes, or someone else's validation, and investing it in the one person who's guaranteed to show up. You. This is a long journey we're about to take together, so buckle up. By the end, you'll see why nobody cares is the most liberating truth you'll ever hear. Let's start with why this hits so hard. From the moment we're born, we're fed this story that the world's watching. As kids, we're told we're special, that our dreams matter, that someone's always got our back. Parents cheer our first steps. Teachers praise our scribbled drawings. Movies and TV shows sell us this fantasy that life's a stage, and everyone's in the audience, ready to clap or catch us when we fall. Then reality crashes in. You pour your heart into a social media post, hoping for love. You get a few likes, maybe a heart emoji, then nothing. You grind at your job, expecting a raise or at least a good job. Your boss barely knows your name. You hit rock bottom. Maybe a breakup, a failure, a moment where you're screaming inside for someone to notice, and the world just keeps spinning. Your friends are too busy with their own lives. Your family's caught up in their own chaos. Even strangers on X scroll past your story without a second thought. This isn't because people are cruel. It's because they're human. Everyone's fighting their own battles. Bills piling up, hearts breaking, insecurities gnawing. They're too wrapped up in their own storms to weather yours. And that's not a flaw. It's just life. Story 1, the burnout. Let me tell you about Jake, a guy I knew from college. At 27, he was the poster child for hustle culture. Tech startup, 80-hour weeks, no weekends, fueled by Red Bull and ambition. He thought if he just worked harder, someone would notice, his boss, his team, maybe even the internet. He wanted that big promotion, that viral moment, that proof he was enough. But here's what happened. His boss took credit for his code. His coworkers saw him as a threat, not a friend. One day he collapsed in the office, physically, mentally, done. Nobody sent a card. Nobody called to check in. Jake realized he was killing himself for people who didn't even know his favorite coffee order. That was his wake-up call. Story 2, the invisible dreamer. Then there's Maria, a writer who spent years posting her stories online, hoping for a big break. She'd stay up until 3 a.m., crafting blog posts, short stories, even a novel, waiting for someone to say, "Wow, you're going places." She got a few comments here and there, but mostly silence. Her friends liked her posts out of pity, but they didn't read them. Her family told her to get a real job. Maria felt invisible, like her dreams were shouting into a void. One day she stopped posting. Not because she gave up, but because she realized she was writing for the wrong audience. She started writing for herself. That shift changed everything. The truth is, we're all a little like Jake and Maria. We chase external validation like it's the key to happiness. Social media likes, a promotion, a nod from a parent. We think these things will fill the emptiness inside. But they don't. Because the void isn't out there. It's in here. Points to chest. And the sooner you realize nobody's coming to fill it for you, the sooner you can start building something real. Why nobody cares? Let's break it down. Why don't people care? It's not personal. Your boss isn't losing sleep over your late-night emails because they've got their own deadlines. Your friends aren't keeping score of your wins or losses because they're juggling their own. Even the internet, with its billions of eyes, is too busy arguing about politics or memes to notice your struggle. Society sells us this lie that everyone's watching, judging, caring. But they're not. And that's okay. Because it means you're free. Free to stop performing for an audience that's not even there. Free to live for you. If nobody cares, what's the point? The point is you. You are the point. When you stop waiting for the world to hand you a trophy, you start building a life that doesn't need one. Focusing on yourself isn't about being selfish. It's about survival. It's about creating a foundation so strong that nobody's indifference can shake it. This is the longest part of our journey, because changing your focus from the world to yourself isn't a quick fix. It's a process. Let's break it down into steps, stories, and real talk to get you there. Segment 1. Know yourself. First things first. Who are you when the noise stops? Not the version of you that's trying to impress your parents, your boss, or your Instagram followers. The real you. What makes your heart race? What keeps you up at night? Maybe it's starting a business, learning to cook, running a 5K, or just sitting in silence without feeling like you're wasting time. It doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be yours. Story 3. The Artist's Awakening. Take Lisa, a barista I met in Chicago. She spent her 20s trying to be the perfect daughter for her immigrant parents. She worked dead-end jobs, smiled through the exhaustion, and buried her dreams to make them proud. But deep down, she was miserable. One day, during a slow shift, she started sketching on napkins. Customers noticed, left tips, but nobody really cared about her art. And that was the spark. Lisa realized she wasn't sketching for them. She was sketching for herself. She enrolled in night classes for graphic design, built a portfolio, and now freelances for brands she used to admire from afar. Nobody handed her that life. She chose it. Exercise 1. Find your spark. Pause this video for a second. Grab a piece of paper or your phone. Write down one thing you love doing, even if it's stupid or small. Maybe it's singing in the shower, gardening, or binge reading sci-fi novels. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you did it? If it's been a while, schedule 10 minutes this week to do it. Not for anyone else. For you. Segment 2. Set boundaries. Here's a game changer. Learn to say no. Seriously. Stop saying yes to things that drain your soul. Toxic friends who only call when they need something, family drama that's not your burden, or work tasks that could be someone else's. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting your energy so you can pour it into what matters. Story 4. The People Pleaser's Rebellion. Meet Marcus, the ultimate people pleaser. He was everyone's go-to guy. Need a ride at 3 a.m.? Marcus. Need to borrow $50? Marcus. Need to vent about your bad day? Marcus was on speed dial. He thought being nice would earn him love, respect, a place in the world. Instead, he was exhausted, broke, and resentful. When he started saying no, people got mad. His sister called him selfish. His friends ghosted him. But for the first time, Marcus had time to breathe. He started running, reading, even took a coding boot camp. Saying no gave him his life back. Exercise 2. Practice no. This week, say no to one thing that feels like a weight. Maybe it's a party you don't want to attend or a favor you can't afford to give. Say it kindly but firmly. I can't right now. Notice how it feels. Write it down. That's your energy coming back. Segment 3. Invest in yourself. Think of yourself as a startup. Every hour, every dollar, every ounce of effort is an investment. Where are you spending it? Doom scrolling X? Binge watching shows to numb out? Or are you learning a skill, moving your body, feeding your mind? The world won't invest in you until you do. Story 5. The Comeback Queen. Aisha's story is one for the books. A single mom in her 30s. She hit rock bottom after a messy divorce. 2 kids, 2 jobs, mountains of debt, and a voice in her head saying she'd failed. Everyone told her to keep going, but she was done waiting for a miracle. So she started small, 10-minute YouTube workouts in her living room. Then a budgeting app to tackle her finances. Then therapy to unpack years of self-doubt. 2 years later, she's running a small catering business, paying off debt, and showing her kids what it means to rise. Nobody cared enough to save her. She saved herself. Exercise 3, 1 goal, 30 days. Pick one thing to commit to for 30 days. Could be learning a new recipe, meditating for 5 minutes daily, or reading a book that challenges you. Track your progress in a notebook or app. Celebrate every step, no matter how small. This isn't for Instagram. This is for you. Segment 4. Embrace the loneliness. Here's the raw truth. Focusing on yourself can feel lonely as hell. When you stop chasing approval, some people will walk away. Friends might call you distant. Family might not get it. That's okay. Loneliness isn't a curse. It's a filter. It shows you who's worth your time and who's just along for the ride. And in those quiet moments, when it's just you and your thoughts, you'll find something better. Peace. The kind that comes from knowing you're enough, even when nobody's watching. Story 6. The Quiet Warrior. Let's talk about Sarah, a teacher who spent years trying to be everyone's rock. She was the friend who always listened, the colleague who stayed late, the daughter who never said no. But inside, she was crumbling. When she started prioritizing herself, taking weekends to hike, saying no to extra work, people didn't like it. Her best friend stopped calling. Her coworkers whispered. But Sarah found something new. Space to breathe, to dream, to rediscover who she was outside of everyone else's needs. That solitude became her strength. Exercise 4. Embrace solitude. Spend 10 minutes alone this week, no phone, no distractions. Just you. Maybe sit in a park, journal, or stare at the sky. What comes up? Write it down. That's you meeting yourself. Segment 5. Rewrite your story. Focusing on yourself means rewriting the narrative you've been sold. Maybe you were told you're too much or not enough. Maybe you grew up thinking you had to earn love by being perfect. It's time to let that go. Your story isn't about what the world thinks. It's about what you believe. Story 7. The Outcast's Triumph. Consider Jamal, who grew up in a small town where he never fit in. He was too loud, too different, too weird for the cool kids. He spent years trying to prove he belonged. Better grades, better clothes, better everything. It never worked. So he stopped. He started making music, not for fame, but because it lit him up. He posted it online, not expecting much. Slowly, people found it. Not because he begged for attention, but because he was unapologetically himself. Today, he's got a small but loyal following, and he's never felt freer. Exercise 5. Rewrite one belief. Write down one limiting belief you've carried. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed, etc. Now write the opposite. I am enough. I am capable. Read it daily for a week. Notice how it shifts your mindset. Here's where it gets beautiful. When you focus on yourself, you don't just survive, you thrive. You become the person you were always meant to be. You stop needing the world's applause because you're clapping for yourself. And here's the magic. When you're strong, you can lift others up too. Focusing on yourself isn't about shutting people out. It's about building a foundation so solid you can carry your own weight and still have room to help others. Story 8. The Mentor. Take David, a guy I met at a community center. He grew up in a rough neighborhood, told he'd never amount to anything. He spent years trying to prove people wrong, hustling, fighting, chasing respect. It left him angry and lost. Then he decided to focus on himself. He got his GED, started lifting weights, read every self-help book he could find. Now, He's a youth coach mentoring kids who grew up like him. He didn't wait for the world to care. He became the person he needed when he was younger. Story 9. The Quiet Revolution. Then there's Emily, a corporate lawyer who had it all on paper. Big salary, fancy apartment, the perfect life. But she was empty. She spent years chasing promotions to prove her worth, only to realize nobody at the top cared about her as a person. She started small. Journaling every morning, running on weekends, taking art classes just for fun. Those small acts of self-care led her to quit her job and start a nonprofit for mental health. She's not rich anymore, but she's rich in purpose. What's stopping you? Fear? Doubt? The voice saying you're not enough? That voice is a liar. You are enough. Right now. Exactly as you are. The world might not care, but you can. Start today. Take one step. Focus on you. Nobody cares. And that's your superpower. When you stop waiting for the world to save you, you save yourself. Go out there and build a life you're proud of. Not for them. For you. Subscribe for more real talk. Share this if it hit home. Comment below. What's one thing you're doing for yourself today? Let's start a movement of people who choose themselves.